Hello everyone, how are you feeling today? It's Eros71 here, and today I'm coming at you with a new video after, of course, the updated profile. And not deck profile, why I'm saying deck profile, I guess it's because this channel is mostly deck profiles. But today I'm coming at you with a new opening video, which is the new structure deck, or should I say a little bit too old. It's not old, it's just a month already and I'm a little bit late. But I don't really care. I actually got my hands on it right now, and I actually going to open it today and do something really new. So before we'll jump into it, and I'll explain what the new thing I want to try to do for a new video idea is I hope you guys understand why I did the update video and why I explain. I'm not trying to cry out and ask for your help in Patreon or stuff like that, because I don't think we're arrived to that point yet. And I'm not saying I will not do good videos anymore. I'm doing the best that I can, but I'm hoping you can understand that, yeah, there have been stuff, and there are always stuff in every person's life so that get them a little bit, out of syncs with the game and stuff like that. And out of sync and, also kind of I don't have the time and I don't have the best equipment in the world, but like I said, I hope you guys understand. It's a little bit I want to actually tell you guys what my ideas and what I want to do. So hope you guys enjoyed that video. Also, one thing, because Firewall is now banned, which it still didn't fix the problem with Gambler at number 86, I actually feel I can play the game a little bit more easier. So I got the kind of feeling that I want to play the zombies, because zombies is one of my favorite types in the game, and this is a really good structure deck. If you're a new player that already know the basic, but you're looking for a good structure deck that is easy to understand its game plan, and just you don't mind about zombies and you just want something cool, I recommend to pick that up. And I also in general recommend to pick up structure decks, because structure decks are really good thing and really good value most of the time. So that's pretty much it, and let's get to the video. And what I'm going to do is today I'm going to do a cool idea, which is do the entire, of course, structure deck, showing all the cards. However, I'm not going to explain the new cards until I'm going to do something at the end of the video, which is star rating. I'm going to give cards their rating, in my opinion, that they should get. Of course, I'm not the best reviewer in the world, but I'm going to give them the rating that I think cards like that should get and how they help. 0 means it's unplayable. In a structure deck like this, there is nothing like that, but I'm just saying for future things that we'll continue to doing that. 0 means it's unplayable and just garbage. 5 means it's really good generically, absolutely incredible, or really good in its deck itself, because if we're going oh yeah, there's not a whole lot of cards that can be 5 stars. But like I said, 0 is absolutely unplayable, 5 stars is really good for its game plan, doing a lot of things, or really generic and absolutely awesome. So without further ado, again, let's get started with this. So first and foremost, let me fight to the plastic, because Europe products are a little bit too harder to, not too harder, a little bit more harder at least in structure deck to open up, but a little bit more easy in special editions, which is kind of weird. So let me fight through the box to get the cards. Oh my god, that's so annoying. Give me a second. Wow, I have to destroy the box for this. So yeah, as you can hear that. So that's how the box looks now. Yay! I mean, I already have a box or two already that I haven't destroyed, so I'm okay with that. But it's yeah, that's a little bit of unwanted destruction. So as you can see, you have a little bit thing here that you can push your hand and open up really easy and nicely. And here are our 41 new cards, so we'll get to them in a second. First off, this should get off my hand because it's got statically into my hand, but this is the new rulebook. It's not the new rulebook, but this is the rulebook that came out with the structure deck with the purple outline, which is really cool. I like purple. Purple is a cool color, and also explain all the cards with your cards specifically, showing some interactions with them. Actually, not so interaction, but showing things that are in the normals. Any normal rulebook, but with your cards as the photos, just to make you feel, oh yeah, I'm using my cards in order to just give you the option to understand how that works. So, whatever. Next up, we have the paper playmat, which I think is a really cool looking one, which is the Necro Dragon. And the other main deck boss monster, which I don't remember his name on the top of my hand, but we're going to see him really soon. And then other side, you have some, give me a second, it just got stuck, some combos you can do, and some cards you can get to your deck in order to make it more powerful. Now, those two I don't understand why they're options. This one I maybe can understand. This one, on the other hand, is a better option to give to your structure. For your deck, probably, to buy those if you're looking for those, but I would recommend to look up before you're doing what they're suggesting, because sometimes Konami's suggesting kind of garbage, in my opinion. And those actually are also looking kind of okay if you want to listen to those. This one is kind of garbage, this one, don't listen to it, it's a little bit of problematic and a little bit more hard to use my Akashi. Those two, if you can afford those cards, except from this one is very high price, I would recommend to try to stock on some of those as you see fit, because they can help your strategy. But that's pretty much it for that. So now we're going to use this as, I guess, our background. I will try to get at least both of their heads on the, on the so-called mat. Okay, I think that's good enough. Now, first thing, before we'll get to that, this is a dual link advertisement, which you're getting at the end of your cards, which now it's have Yusei, because they're in the 5Ds era, I guess. They're synchro summoning, which is my favorite summoning mechanic, which is fun, but I'm still not going to play dual links because I think it's a waste of time. So, first things first for our new cards. We have Red Eyes Necro Dragon, which is the new synchros that you're getting with this, which, like I said, I'm going to get over it later. Tutsu Necro, which is the new tuner. The new other boss monster, which is Doom King Baldroach. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. English is not my first language, so I could be mistaken. And Necroworld Banshee. Glow Up Blue. And now we're getting to go into reprints, which I don't know why people think like Kasha is a new card. Kasha is not a new card. It's already have 4 reprints. And this is his 5th one, and this is not a new card. So I'm going to actually do something as well, which is good reprints, and like, the playable reprints if you're getting them out of the box, and if you only have like those 3 boxes and you're playing with them. The playable reprints that you can play in any copies that you want, and then the bad ones. So for the bad ones, Kasha is definitely not a really good reprint, sorry to say that. Red Eyes Zombie Dragon, actually it is. Malevolent Mech Gokuen, really bad. Endless Decay, not that good. Paladin of the Cursed Dragon, pretty bad. Immortal Ruler, actually not that bad, to be honest. It's actually giving you the ability to tribute this card and put Zombie World into the field again, which I will get to Zombie World when we'll get to the spells, and I'll explain to you that this structure deck pretty much resolved around that card. Zombie Master, excellent reprint. Tristan, Knight of the Underworld is an okay one, I guess. I'm not sure. I think it's a good one for starters to use. Mizuki, excellent. Gozuki, excellent. Shoten Doji, pretty bad. Pyramid Turtle, a little bit too slow. Goblin Zombie is actually amazing. Isolde Bill of the Underworld, which I think it and Tristan are supposed to be dark versions of the Noble Knight versions. I don't really know, but I think that's how that's supposed to work. And this is the original Isolde. I'm only going to put it here because, it's working with Tristan and you can get a special summon, so that's not bad. Solitaire, good card. Unizombie, amazing card. Marionette Mind, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, is not that good. Beast of the Pharaoh can have a nice value for starters, so not that bad as well. Scapegoat, Scapegoat, sorry, not goat. Scapegoat is Zombie Necronize is actually a new card. Zombie Power Struggle, a new card. Zombie World I'm going to put to the side because I want to read you the effect and explain how that works with synergy. Overpowered Eye, pretty bad. Book of Life, pretty good. Call of the Mummy, actually not that bad for starters as well. Foolish Burial, amazing. Monster Gate, really good reprint. Drag Down into the Grave, also pretty amazing. Burial from Different Dimension, amazing. Shared Ride, probably the best spell reprint in the entire structure deck. I would say it's a really good card. Recommend to have 3 of those. Get the 3 of those if you can. Really good card. It's not as good as Maxi, but still really good. Return of the Zombies is a new card. Hunted Shrine is a new card. Trap of the Imperial Tomb, really not that good. Needlebug Nest is a little bit too slow in my eyes. Metaverse, pretty good reprint for some particular decks. Anti-Spell Fragments, amazing. And Master of Restrict, also pretty much an amazing reprint. So let's get the cards out of the way that are not the new cards. And as you can see, you have really not a lot of bad cards. You have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Like 11 out of 41, which is really a whole lot. Like cards that, like, in my opinion, like not worth to run. There are some cards in this one that I would not recommend to run them if you're trying to run this like in a little bit more higher competitive level and stuff. But they're a good cards. Those are the I guess that's, I think it's 22 because you count all the new cards with this as well. It's like 22 new cards that I would recommend to try to run them and maybe use them if you need to. There's some cards here that are not that good either, but like we'll get over them when we'll get to the new cards. So for the time being, yeah, really good cards overall. So first things first, Zombie World. For anybody who don't know how Zombie World work, it's a field spell that make all monsters in the field and in the graveyard zombie types. And neither player can tribute monsters except from zombie monsters. So it's really cool, giving you the ability to also block your opponent way to tribute summon if they're playing monarchs or any other kind of deck that pretty much tribute summon. Also, Zombie World is the main focus on this deck because you want to make your opponent monsters zombies, which give you the benefit of gaining some particular cool effects. So that's really cool. And that's a really nice card to work with, and there's a lot of cards that are working around this card specifically. Also, one thing I actually should mention, I think in the ruling, for everybody who wonders, there's some cards that like block you from using the, limit you for the rest of the turn to only special summon zombies. I think it only counted in the field and in the graveyard, so if you do special summon monster from the extra deck that is not zombie, you cannot do that if you're limited for, you can only special summon monster for the rest of the turn, because I think it doesn't count zombie until it hits the field. So I could be wrong on that ruling, just to let you guys know out of the way, because I think that's how that works, but I'm not 100% sure about that. So yeah, just to let you guys know that I think how that ruling works. So let's get started. Let's get started with the new card, which is Red Eyes Zombie Necro Dragon. Pretty simple card, pretty simple effect, and it's a tuner and a non-tuner. It's a level 7, 2400 attack, 2000 defense. Gain 100 attack for each zombie monster on the field and in the graveyard. So if you're using with 2 materials, it's already 2700, really good. And then when another zombie monster is destroyed by battle, you can special summon one zombie monster from either player's graveyard to your field. You can only use this effect of Red Eyes Zombie Necro Dragon once per turn. Now, why this card is so good? And it's really good, again, with Zombie World, because you make all of your opponent monsters zombies. You destroy an opponent monster by battle, and you also getting the benefit to become so big because it's in both player graveyards and on the field, which if you make their monsters zombies, this can rise up to like 3500 attack, which is ridiculous. So this card can be really big, and when you destroy a monster by battle, it can actually take the monsters that you destroyed and get yourself, like, for example, something like, let's say, it can actually come over Borolo Dragon if you're asking. So if you're getting over a Borolo Dragon, you can take that Borolo Dragon, for example. Really good card. I would rate this card 3 stars. The problem, because this card is really amazing, but it's like, it's a little bit dependent on Zombie World, and that's a little bit of an issue, but overall, really good card. Really something that zombies in general needed a really good level 7 synchro, and the fact that you can get Zombie World already really easy to the field is excellent. The problem is it's a little bit dependent, like I said, of you going second, and depend on Zombie World, and that's in my opinion only earned it 3 stars, but in generally, really good card. I'm not saying it's bad. It's amazing, but 3 stars I think it's justifying this card. Next up is the other boss monster, which can pretty much during the standby phase, I will focus on those because it's a little bit going to make that easier to read for everybody. During the standby phase, if a face-up card is in the field zone, so it can even be in your opponent's field zone, and this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card in defense position. You can only use this effect of him once per turn. Once per turn, when a zombie monster, except zombie, whatever his name effect is, the Doom King, activate effect. except during the damage step, of course. Quick effect, you can apply one of these effects, and you cannot use the secondary effect once again in the turn, so you can only use each of their effects once per turn. The first one is negate the effect of that zombie monster, and then banish one monster from the field or graveyard. First and foremost, a boss monster with 2000 attack that special summon itself every single time you have a field spell, which is going to be Zombie World, by the way. And it's so easy to do that because it's every single standby phase, not even your standby phase. It can be your opponent's standby phase. Amazing. Have the ability, even if you don't control Zombie World, to banish a monster on the field or in the graveyard if you activate a zombie effect, which is, again, amazing. And if you do control Zombie World, you can negate some monster effects because they count as zombies. This card, in my opinion, while it is a big monster, I think it's ranked, in my opinion, 4 stars. This card is absolutely amazing. I don't think it's required 5 stars yet because it doesn't do anything for the deck itself by giving you consistency and stuff. But the fact that you can revive a boss monster so easily, giving you a negation effect and giving you a banishment effect, this card is absolutely ridiculous. 4 stars, in my opinion, is a very, very appropriate ranking for this card, and it's a very good card overall. Recommend to run in your deck at least one of them if you're playing any zombie deck. Next up, we're going into Tetsu Necro, which is, if this card is normal, if this normal or set card would be used as a synchro material, one monster in your hand can be used as the other one. And if you do, all materials that summon are banished instead of being sent to the graveyard. You cannot special summon monsters except zombie monsters. So, pretty much, this card is a really good way to get a card out of your hands that you don't really care about. Like, for example, let's just say I have like a level 5 zombie in my hand, and I can bring out a level 8, but I cannot special summon monsters except zombies as long as it's on the field. So you can only special summon zombies with this, which is pretty okay, but not the best in the world. And I'm going to rate this card, unfortunately, 2 stars because it has to be normal or special, normal summon or set in order to be used for a synchro summon. So sometimes you want your normal summons for something else and better. B, this card use the monster in your hand, but it banish it, which is not always that good. And if you're going into Red Eyes Zombie Necro Dragon, you kind of losing 200 attack because of this, which could be very, very important if you don't have Zombie Worlds and stuff. So it's really bad in that regard. And also, you can only special summon zombies, which that restriction I get, but you can only synchro summon zombies with this, which is, again, really not that good. It's a good card overall. I'm not saying it's bad. It just, unfortunately, not good enough in my opinion. There's not a whole lot of like amazing zombie synchros that I would like to sacrifice some of my cards here. And because of that, in my opinion, it's only a 2-star. Really good card overall, but that's pretty much it for that. Next up, Necro World Banshee. Zombie World in the field zone cannot be destroyed by card effects. Also, neither player can target it with card effect. Quick effect, in the field or in the graveyard, you can activate one zombie world directly from your hand or deck. You can only use the effect of Necro World Banshee once per turn. So this card is pretty much a metaverse on cracks. That's pretty much how I can see this card. Really amazing. I kind of don't understand why she have the protection effect of Zombie World on the same card, but I kind of get it on the other hand because, like, oh yeah, if my opponent found a way to destroy my Zombie World, I still have a way to get that back if this card is on the field and it bypassed my protection. Oh, that's fine. I would rate this card because it's so good and giving you the option to get a Zombie World so easily. 4 stars. This card is pretty simple, straightforward effects and protection. Not more need to say about this card. Next up, Glow Up Bloom. Oh boy, this card is so good. So good that it's almost as good as Glow Up Bulb generically, in my opinion. This card is... It shows you that the Glow Up family is real... The Glow Up pair, I guess, is really good. And if this card effect says, if this card is sent to your graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add one level 5 or higher zombie monster from your deck to your hand, or if Zombie World is on the field zone, you can special summon it from your deck instead. Also, in either case, you cannot special summon monster for the rest of the turn except zombie monster. You can only use the effect of Glow Up Bloom once per turn. I think it's pretty obvious that I'm going to rate this card 5 stars. This card is amazing. By having the ability to get it anywhere in the graveyard, it doesn't really matter which. Yeah, sure, you restrict yourself for zombies, but let's say you already get your field, you don't really care about that. You can get a level 5 zombie, which if you have Zombie World, by the way, you can summon this one from your deck, or if you're playing this in Vampires, you can get a Vampire from your field, or you can get a Vendred Search for a Ritual Monster, which can be very, very important. So, in my opinion, this card is 5 stars, amazing, giving a lot of zombies the option. It's a level 1 tuner, which is really, really good in some monsters' case, and just in general, overall, an amazing card. Really, really good. I would rank it, like I said, 5 stars. Next up, we're going into Zombie Necronize, or whatever that's called. It's a pretty, really cool card in my opinion, and it's actually my opinion on it actually grown because this card is so easy to activate and it's so disgusting. And if a level 5 or higher zombie monster is on the field, you can target one monster your opponent controls, take control of it until the end phase. During the main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle one of your banished zombies from the deck, and if you do set this card, but banish it won't leave the field, and you can only use one zombie necro effect per turn, and only once that turn. So this card is absolutely disgusting, okay? This card can take control of an opponent monster. It's better, in my opinion, sometimes than mind control, and getting a level 5 or higher zombie monster is not that hard. You only need one in your deck, but I would rate this card 3 stars because it's pretty much amazing, giving you the monster, and the monster can attack, and it pretty much can set itself again. And if you have, for example, Omega, you can use this effect to set himself again over and over all the time. So it's really, really good. And it's recycled for you zombie monsters for your deck, like monsters that you want in your deck to use them again. Really, really good. Really, really good card. 3 stars. Probably the best spell in the deck except Zombie World if you want to run only the zombie stuff. Next up is Zombie Power Struggle, which is pretty much target a zombie on the field until the end of the turn and get a 1,000 attack, or lose a 1,000 attack, and then of course have the same effect of the shuffling effect and setting yourself. Quick play spell, but unfortunately I will only rate it 1 star because this card is, how should I say this, not good enough. Well, it's nice to have interaction with, like, you know, Zombie World, being able to also give your Doom King the ability of kind of like a protection because it's only 2,000 defense, and because your opponent monster count as a zombie monster, you can pretty much reduce its attack by 1,000. But in my opinion, it's not good enough. So unfortunately, this is a card that unfortunately falls short. Really, really good card though, if you're like going considering it like 2 maybe eras before, but it just, today meta game and just a today game, it just falls way too short in my opinion. Next up, Return of the Zombies. Really interesting card. Banish one zombie on the field. So if you have Zombie World, you can banish your opponent's zombies. Really cool. Then special summon one zombie monster in your graveyard or of the player who controlled it. My apologies. To their field in defense position. If this card in your graveyard, you can shuffle one of your banished zombies into the deck, and if you do, you know, the same effect as those two. So pretty much this card is really, really interesting because I think it's one of those cards that can work really, really well with Mayakashi, for example, because if you know what Mayakashi are, unfortunately with Mayakashi, they need to activate their effect only when they're special summoned from the graveyard, and this is a really good way to just pretty much, oh yeah, I'm getting rid of my opponent monster, and I'm getting a Mayakashi from my graveyard which can trigger its effect. Simple effect. You can always use that in other monsters anyway, but I'm just giving a really, really good example for a deck that can actually use this card. I would rate this card only 2 stars because unfortunately it's not a quick play spell. If it was a quick play spell instead of this and this was a trap, I would rate this card 4 stars because this card could have been absolutely ridiculous for middle combos, but unfortunately it's only a trap and it's a little bit too slow. But really, really good card nonetheless, and I would say I would experiment with this card around. So, you know, it's just a really good card in general. Last card, Haunted Shrine. Not a new card to the OCG, but a new card for the TCG. If you control no monster, target one zombie monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and special summon it. Pretty simple. If you control no monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one zombie in your graveyard, special summon, but its effect are negated. You can only use 100 Shrine effect per turn, only once that turn. To be honest, this card is not that good, because it has to be used only when you're losing, and that's not really good when you have a deck that is zombies. It's not all the time going to be used, and that's really, really bad. The fact that you need to control no monsters, it's its biggest drawback. If it was just, if you control a zombie monster, for example, that would have been amazing, because that's going to give you an ability to extend your play, and again, can be used in Mayakashi and other decks that actually need that kind of thing. But as the way it stands right now, unfortunately only 1 star, even though it's giving you the ability to special summon twice, it just falls short. It's not that good, in my opinion, and that's pretty much it for the 9 new cards of the deck. So, yeah, like I said, except from those 2 cards, and maybe third one if you consider, not really liking the idea of this card, you have overall 6 new amazing cards that can help you in your zombie quest to conquer the world. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So hope you guys enjoy. I hope it wasn't too long for your liking. I just want to try something new, and in the future, if you like that idea, I can make that more efficient. But this time, I will see you guys next time in the next video. Remember, creativity is the key in this game, and have a good day, guys. Stay safe. And we're finally entering for something that I really wanted to do. It's time for Zombie Month. Yes, there are going to be a lot of zombies deck profiles that are going to come up, because this deck can work really well with a lot of zombie decks. So be on the lookout for that. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.